Let me hear you say Crux, yeah! Crux, yeah! Let me hear you say Crux, yeah! Crux, yeah! Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux Crawford.
You a clout chasing faking ass industry dick swallower. I can give a fuck about you and your fake followers. Posting on your story in your daddy's Porsche. You flashing fans that you carry cash out the door.
Crux, yeah. What is up, everybody? Back with another episode, and I am here with the one, the only Ian Mac. Everybody, what is going on, man?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good, man. Another comic friend of mine that's nice enough to let me into their home while I'm waiting on this. You guessed it, this goddamn door that is still needs to come in, and all of these COVID supply chains are setting me off, man. But hey, I have faith that one day I will get a door put on my office so I can actually set up my own podcast studio at home. But yeah.
Until then, you're always welcome in my house, dude.
Thanks, man. Great to be here, dude.
Yeah,
cheers. Coffee, cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Man.
Coffee's great, too, for the folks listening and watching at home. This is some great coffee you're missing out on. So, quick couple things that I want to say for Crux Nation as we grow this thing, as we build this thing. I appreciate everybody listening. Got 5 episodes out right now as we speak today, and obviously that's going to grow by the time this is out and other episodes are out. Already at 100 downloads for the podcast, so that is very cool. Thank everybody for jumping in so early when it's so small and barely trying to get it off the ground. So appreciate everybody who's listening. Tune in every week. Tuesday is going to be the release day for video and audio. I have the video versions on YouTube. So if anybody wants to watch that, if you're listening to this now and you're like, man, I want to see this guy's ugly face and this other motherfucker he's talking to, what does their ugly face look like? That's on YouTube too. So you can watch, or you watch and listen, or watch on there too if you'd like to. All of those are up now. I did that starting with episode 4. So going forward now, every Tuesday is going to be release audio everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, everywhere you listen. Tune in wherever you listen to podcasts, and then also it'll be on YouTube as well. Crux, yeah, motherfucker. So also, other thing that I'll say before get this out of the way is in a couple episodes from now, I'm going to be launching the actual Crux Crawford Patreon too, for all of my Crux Nation loyal fans out there that want to join in. You're going to get bonus content, which I'll be going over with you in the future episodes upcoming. There'll be some bonus episodes, all kinds of different stuff I'm going to be doing out there. Start off real at a nice low entry tier, so I'll be getting announcements going on about that too. So yeah, I just want to throw those things out there. That's what I got going on. And, watch the videos on YouTube if you like to, or just listen here. Obviously listening is just fine too. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in any way they can. So, yeah, man, what's going on with you today, Ian?
Dude, every day is pretty much the same, man. Just hang out with my dude and
hell yeah, man.
do some design work and write some jokes and work on merch and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, the hustle is real, dude. You got to keep it alive. Yeah, we were just talking about before we got plugged in, man. I'm like a couple stages behind you, because I have an 11-month-old at home. You know what I mean? Dude. It's my first kid, my son. So, yeah, man, it's kind of interesting anytime I see somebody that's got like a 1 or a 2 or a 3-year-old, because it's like I'm kind of looking into the future and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, it gets crazy, man. Once they start walking, they do not stop. It goes from walking to running, and it's just running all the time. And then once they start talking, then it's just no shutting them up.
Yeah.
Which is cool because you get a lot more material off of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you were saying, man, you're about to have a bunch more material. So on that note, though, on the note of weekly updates and the stand-up stuff and all that. Well, actually, first I want to back it up a second and say anybody who's a We Are the Flesh listener that listens to this podcast, either you're listening weeks from now or months from now when this is out, or you're listening when this got released, I just want to say we got 3 songs that are about to each hit a mil right now. So thank you so much for listening. We'll see which one. It's going to be Pull It Back, The Purge, or This Hell. They're all in the 900,000+ on Spotify right now. So we're going to see which one's the battle for the top, which one's going to hit a mil. And thank you so much for listening. We hit that like over 60,000 monthly listener range this week. We've always hung between 50 and 60, and now we're over 60,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. So we do really appreciate that. Appreciate all your support. support. We cannot do it without you and everybody who tunes in and listens to all our songs and plays them over and over. So thank you very much. Shout out to all the We Are the Flesh fans that might be listening to this. But yeah, man, on another comedy thing, perfect time to dive into something that happened to me last night. And obviously Ian is somebody, you got a lot more experience than me doing stand-up comedy and stuff. You've done shows, you've booked shows, you've performed in front of a lot of people, and you got a lot more under your belt than I do. So this is something that happened. We're going to go ahead and say this is a person who hosts an open mic somewhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know what I mean? Someone who hosts an open mic. I had an interesting kind of like little run-in or confrontation at an open mic last night that I've been going to pretty regularly on like every week, the day it's held. And this is what happened, man. So this is the rundown. So I go to this thing. I've been going for a little while. You know what I mean?
Right.
And consistently every week showing up. And what happened was, so backtrack, last week at this open mic, they were like, it's one of those things where it's just an off night. Yeah. It's at this bar. Sometimes there's traffic there. Sometimes there's not. Last week happened to be one of those times where there were like 4 people in there, did not give a shit about comedy. We're not trying to hear comedy. You know what I mean? Yeah. This was literally just, let me get this rep in, let me get my words out, and let me just, get some practice, right? That was that kind of vibe, right?
Right.
So there's an order, for everybody who signed up, right, in advance. So this person just went through the order. The host of this open mic just went through the order, just straight up, just how it was. Like this person, that person, this person, that person to feature, this person, that person. And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Cut and dry. Now, yesterday, this week, luck of the draw, there just happened to be about 20 people in there.
Right. Actual crowd.
That were actually a crowd that were sitting inside that were willing to listen. Yeah. Right? Now, to be very clear, these were not people that were fans of the open mic. These were not people that were fans of that comedy group. Okay. These are just people that went to a bar to have beers after work, and they happened to want to listen to the stand-up comedy that was happening, right?
The entertainment.
Exactly. You got it. So, going from there, once it started, this person who hosts it realizes, oh, man, we're going to have a pretty good crowd. So, last week, by the way, in which this person last week that hosts this open mic said, hey, this is an open mic. This person said this after my set, right? Yeah. They were like, hey, it's an open mic. Like, this isn't a show. We're going to make sure that we just conduct ourselves. Like, just you can't take this too seriously. It's just an open mic, right? Right. Now, this person completely turns around what they said this week because there's people in the room. So they go, oh, now at this point, after they came up and they gave their little intro and did some of their act, now they start bringing comics up and they decide, oh, I'm going to start curating this because now it's a show. Now it's a production, So
there's nobody here. It's just an open mic. But if there's a crowd, which you want some sort of, validation or justification during your open mic sets. That's how you know what works.
Yeah. So,
and you got bumped.
Exactly. So, and to be clear, that was fine. Okay. In initially, because to tell you what happened. So this person starts calling comics up after they start becoming the host and they do their act and they transition into host mode. And I start to see bumps start to happen. I start to see people get shifted that were on different parts of the printed list and all that stuff. And I just sit there. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm new. I get it. I'm a new guy. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like if there's a couple rearrangements that need to happen, so be it. I stand there. I watch. I don't say anything. Then after that happens a couple times, this host comes up to me and goes, hey, Crux, what's your availability tonight? I'd like to move some things around on the list, right? And I'm like, well, I mean, I do, right? And I do have something else, because I was going to go to Bodega. I'm like, well, I do have another one. What did you have in mind? Because I didn't want to just say, I didn't want to be a dick. So then they go, well, this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to put so-and-so ahead of you, and then also move this person, which was the feature. Because to be clear, at this open mic, halfway through the list, they do like a first block, which is, in case you don't know, is like the first group of people, right? Yeah. And then in the middle, they have a feature, which is someone that they've selected that's asked to go up and do 15 minutes. Right. So that's normally in the middle, right? I've normally been at the end of the show. This was my first time in the first part of it. So at this point, she wants to put that feature ahead of me. And she wants to. No, it's all good. It's all good, man. I love it. I got one too, man. That's why he's so out of control, dude. He screams out of control. Everything.
He's bored.
This is nothing. This is nothing.
For the
So
audience
she goes-
listening at home, my son is running around in circles.
all running around.
No, I'm listening.
No, it's all good, man. So she wants to put that guy ahead of me. They want to put this person ahead of me. So I'm like, I'd rather not do that. You know what I mean? Because at this point, I'm getting bumped for like the 4th or 5th time. And then on top of that, I'm going to get bumped by another guy who's going to do a 15-minute set. You know what I mean? And there's people there. Like, let's be honest. We all want to perform in front of people, right? You know what I mean? So then she's like, then she walks away. She obviously like this. Sorry, I've already fucked this up. I might as well just say she, whatever. There's billions of women on earth. So she walks away kind of frustrated, right? That I didn't just fold and go for it. Cause I'm like, and I didn't say like, fuck you, I want to stay. I just went like, I'd rather not. I'd rather not do that, you know? Walks away, brings another comic up, you know, brings down, lights somebody, comes back to me and goes, look, you're getting bumped. Okay. So that's just how it is. And at that point, she's like, I know it sucks, dude, but you're getting bumped. So I was like, no, that's actually not happening because this is my last time here. And I took my little mic covering because I use the mic coverings at these things. So I took my little mic covering, I threw it down next to all the other stuff. And I'm like, this is the last time I'm coming here and I'm leaving. So that's fine, you know? And then she was like, well, wait a minute. We need to talk about this. I'm like, there's nothing to talk about. I'm leaving. So what are we talking about? You know? And then she's like, no, we need to go talk about this outside. I'm like, oh my God. So then she goes,
make it a thing.
Oh yeah. And then she goes, I'm going to grab a witness, right? Let me grab a witness. And I lost, dude, at that point. I went, oh, you're a witness? What are you, a fucking employer? You know what I mean? You're going to witness? Like, you know what I mean? She goes, I actually am. You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, you're a big dog, you know? And then like, or whatever I said, I didn't say that, but I said something to that effect, you know? Yeah, I didn't say you're a big dog. I said like something like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like something to that effect. So we go outside, right? We go outside. There's like a patio area at this place. So she brings the other guy who's actually a guy I like a guy that I really like. He just got pulled into this. He didn't expect it. You know, he didn't ask to. He's just doing
first guy there.
He's just trying to just be a guy in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Good guy. Yeah. So we're talking. Well, no, sorry. I should say she starts talking to me and starts going like, okay, Crux. This is the and I was like, just cut her off right there. I was like, no. Like, this conversation's over. Like, I told you I'm leaving. You're rude. You were rude to me last week. Because she said some backhanded comment, like, after I finished my set last week, which I didn't like, right? But I just kept it to myself. I even asked her on social media, I messaged and said, like, did I do something that upset you? And then she said no. And I was like, okay, because that's kind of, you know, so then I kept it to myself. Next week, now we're outside and I'm like, you were rude to me last week. I didn't like it. And now you're being rude to me again, you know? And then she was like, well, I'm really sorry, but my dad died and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, dude, I was 17 years old doing heroin, homeless on the street. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got hepatitis C diagnosed at 19. Like, are we just telling each other our problems right now? What does this have to do with the open mic? You know what I mean? Yeah. And she's like, well, you have to understand that it puts me in this position. I'm like, we're done with this conversation.
The position.
Yeah. I cut her off again. And I was like, you're rude. You caused too much tension. I'm leaving. Have a good night. That is literally what I said. Yeah. And I didn't go like, fuck you. You're a fucking bitch. I didn't do any of that. Yeah. You know, I just went like, you're rude. You caused too much tension. I'm leaving. Have a good night. Okay. And then as I was leaving the patio, I went like, have a good night. And this other dude was like, you too, buddy. And I was like, hell yeah, dude, you too. Right? Total positive exit. Nothing crazy. I didn't curse anybody out. I didn't get in anybody's face. I didn't call anybody any derogatory terms. I was just like, hey, man, I'm calling as I see it. You're being rude. I'm out of here. So that's what happened. You know what I mean? Then I saw you over at the Bodega, the other open mic, which is very cool. Outlaw comedy.
Yeah. Shout out Outlaw. Andrew Barton. Cheers.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, so that's what happened. So it was one of those things, man, where, and to be clear, let me button up my thing because I'd like to hear your take on it. So let me just button up all my stuff and I'll shut up. Like, to be very clear, because I've been in show business for a while, dude. Like, I've done music for a long time. I'm brand new to comedy, but I understand the idea of putting on a show. Okay. And I understand the etiquette. Okay. Right. So to be very clear, just to show you I understand this. If these people were there to see this person's comedy group perform, or they were a fan of this person's comedy specifically, and they were here to see what she had to say and her friends, dude, that's your show. You're calling the shots. I'm going up whenever you want. If you want me up, it's up to you. If this were a comedy show and not an open mic, and you're doing the same context, right? This is your thing, dude. I'm not involved. Like, it's your show. You make the call. Yeah. It's all good. You know what I mean? Like, I can shove my hard feelings up my ass. You know what I mean? But these were people that had no allegiance to anybody. They didn't know who was who or who was going up next or who was funny, who wasn't. They're just there.
A lot of times the audience doesn't even really know what. So one of the things that I do is I don't even say that's my time. Like that's like a big no-no in everything that I've read is like the audience doesn't give a shit about a light. They don't even, a lot of times they don't even know what the light means. They don't know how much time you have. They don't know anything, especially in that type of situation. Maybe if it's a fan of the mic or whatever, if they're there to see like this person specifically, you'd be a little bit more understanding. But dude, in my experience, man, like if I upset somebody at a mic, you know, I'm not just gonna be like, well, you know what? Fuck you, dude. I'm better than you. You know what I mean? That's what it comes off as. It's not. They don't have to say that, but like when you start, if it happens a second time, right? For instance, one of the guy that runs Mad Hatter, you know, Colton, right? He accidentally lit me at like 2.5 minutes. And you get 5 there, right? And I was like, and it threw me off or whatever. So I just like had a horrible night. And then he hit me up and he was like, hey man, you want to come back next week and do more time? You know what I mean? And we just have that, you know, you build those relationships or whatever. Yeah. But then again, there's other people that don't operate that way. Yeah. It's just like, if you don't like it, then, you know, go fuck yourself. Yeah. And that's, you know, the audience is important, but also you know, you did the right thing by, you know, standing up for yourself, because what she was saying is basically, you know, like, I'm worried that you're going to run our crowd off is what it comes off as, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you're like, dude, like, I'm telling my jokes. I'm living my truth. Like, let me do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let me get this attention that I need right now. Like, I've been working on these jokes, you know, I've been doing this stuff. I get it, dude. And, right. And the person that you're talking about, I've, you know, worked with this person before, and sometimes it's you know, it can be a little bit difficult. You know, we've all got egos and things like that, but like usually if you come to a person with a thing, it seems like you were pretty level-headed about the whole thing. Like, you didn't blow up on her, which you easily could have, and which I've seen this person blow up on people before. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty terrible. But like, if you have that much respect for you know, the audience, you should have that and more for the people that are entertaining the audience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, I've been bumped before a couple times. I mean, like it's happened to me before, and you know, a lot of times, like if it happens over and over and over again, and I just don't feel like I'm being respected or whatever, just as a person, not even as a comic, just as a person, then I won't go back. Right. Yeah. Right. But like, you know, man, you gotta, as far as like the only 4 people in the crowd or whatever, like you gotta bomb. Okay, bombing with integrity, dude, is hard. But if you just like, you know, if you just go at it 100%, like, you know, like when you see me like bombing, I don't even know if you got to see. Were you at the first McFly's whenever when I did the bit about my dad?
I don't think I was.
No,
because to be clear, just to let me ask you, because just to be clear, make sure we're on the same page. Because like in the short time that I've been doing this, my impression is like, okay, if you're in front of like 5 of your comic friends and the bartender who doesn't care about like what you guys are doing, they just don't like the fact they're not making tips and no one's there. You know what I mean? Like, or like it's literally like a bunch of comics. Like last Monday in Austin, like it was an open mic with literally 50 comics sitting around waiting for their time to do 3 minutes. You know what I mean? So literally it was like an audition. It was like an American Idol audition or something. Yeah. Okay, so it was like dead silent, which I don't care. Yeah. I just did my thing like I was auditioning for something. You know what I mean? I did 3 minutes. I just went bing, bang, boom. I do not care. I didn't even pause that long for laughter because I'm like, it's all comics in here. Yeah. Just to be clear, make sure we're on the same page. That's not even, I personally don't even consider that bombing. Like, because there's no people. There's no crowd. If you're bombing when you're bombing in front of people that are not comics. Yeah. Right? Is that fair? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're not getting, to me, and I mean, there's probably people that'll disagree with this, but to me, bombing is not connecting with an audience. There could be people there and they could just not be laughing at you. You know what I mean? And so it's like this delicate balance of, you know, working yourself into a hole and then digging yourself back out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like that's the, I mean, that's the fun in it. But like when you know that you're bombing, just bomb even harder, dude. Like just go for broke, man. Because I mean, you're not losing anything, and you have to bomb. Like that's the biggest part of comedy. You have to know not only what works, but you got to know what doesn't work and how you can make that better.
Right.
It's all about just getting better, dude.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, dude.
Yeah.
And like, I appreciate all the feedback on that. Like, this is another thing to be very clear too, because once again, man, this isn't my first go at like an entertainment art form. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm especially like as I've gotten older, as I've gotten a little more mature, and as I've been able to kind of self-evaluate a little bit over time, I've gotten a lot better and gotten pretty damn good, to be honest, like of self-assessment, right? Like seeing where I'm at with stuff, seeing what I can work on, seeing what's good, seeing what's bad, knowing if something is good or something's bad or if it needs work.
Right.
And so, and the reason why I'm saying that is bringing it back. That's the other thing that really kind of insulted me and why I felt like I needed to stand up for myself and why I was being treated unfairly at this open mic yesterday. Right. Is because, dude, like straight up, I have done like the bits that I have in front of a decent sized crowd at Hyenas Fort Worth open mic. I've done it at Hyenas Dallas open mic in front of a couple people. And then at Addison Improv, like good amount of people, right? Yeah. And I've performed and I've killed, like I've done well. You know what I mean? So if I sucked, like if I had no funny jokes that regular people laughed at all, or people were just like, this is offensive and not funny, or people were like, you're not funny, I'd be like, I'm not funny yet. I need to work on things. So if I get bumped to the bottom of a list, hey man, no harm, no foul, because I need to work on my shit. You know what I mean? I got shit I need to work on. But dude, I got jokes that I have tested in front of people that I know are funny, that I've done well.
Trues, man.
Yeah. And this person wants to act like they have this higher authority on who they feel is funnier and who this crowd needs to see. Like there's some kind of fortune teller.
Yeah, the whole curating the list in the middle of it, like you can sort of like say, hey, you know, if somebody's going to get bumped, like the proper etiquette would be to, you know, you're like, okay, so this person needs to, if you talk to somebody and they're like, dude, I really, you know, I gotta go home. I gotta go do a thing. Or, you know, I'm going to another mic. I'm trying to double dip. Hey, boom. There you go, buddy. Sorry, his show went off.
It's all good.
Shout out Transformers, Rescue Bots Academy.
Any Cocomelon or no Cocomelon action? Too old? Cocomelon?
Grew out of it. He didn't dig it very much, dude.
Is that more of a baby show? I'm not up to date. I'm learning all the children's shows.
Yeah, I think so, man. You'll get into the fun stuff, dude. I got a whole new joke about Paw Patrol, dude.
Yeah, because they're bringing it back, right? It was canceled and they're bringing it back or something.
No, it was never canceled.
Oh, I thought because of George Floyd or whatever, cops and the.
So that's what the joke's about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's like,
thanks for stepping on it, Crux.
Yeah, no, it's just like why did everybody go after Paw Patrol? First off, it's a kids show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a kid's show. It's from Canada. We're lucky that Chase is a cop and not a Mountie, you know? We're lucky he's not riding around on a horse, dude, with a stupid hat on. Right? I think we should be more concerned with the clumsiest Dalmatian on the planet being the head of the fire department, okay? Also, Adventure Bay's pretty progressive, dude. They have a black female mayor. She's got an emotional support chicken named Chickaletta. Anyway, I know everything about.
You know all this stuff, dude. Yeah. I'm so behind, man.
What were we talking about?
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, man. So that and that's the thing, man. Is like going back to that. It's like, dude, that's where it was like you're talking about, like where you feel the need. Someone feels the need to like curate it because they feel like they have they really know what the audience like needs and all this stuff. Like, to be honest, man, like watching this person, like, and seeing how they acted. About the second time I was at this open mic, because I went for like a couple months up until now, I could tell by the way they were, that it was gonna, with my personality versus theirs. Like, cause I'm not going to sit around. I'm not going to get pushed around. Yeah. I can just tell, it's a matter of time before I tell this person off. It's just a matter of it's going to take a year or a month or a week. You know what I mean? So, and it wasn't even tell off because I told you exactly what I said. It's not like you said, man. It's not like I made a scene. When we were inside having a disagreement, out of respect to the comic performing and the show itself. Yeah. I was doing it quietly because I didn't want to disturb anything. And then we went outside, and then I was loud outside because we were outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, so there's two sides of it, right? This person has the authority to run her show or mic or whatever, her event however she wants. But also, she has to be respectful of you and your time. And if she doesn't want to do that, then that's just that's negating all common courtesy. You know what I mean? And I guarantee there's like, if there's anybody listening like in the comedy scene in LA or New York or whatever, they're like, this whiny little bitch. You know what I mean?
Funny.
They're getting bumped by like, they're getting bumped by like huge
that's
dudes.
Another thing,
you know what I mean?
So that,
and if it was somebody like that, I'd be like, yeah, take my time, dude.
Exactly. 100%. See, that's the thing, because
come on my podcast.
Because if there's somebody like that's listening, to be very clear, I would completely understand. If this were a show, right? If this were like a big comic and friends, and they're like, hey, no name motherfucker, like we have to bump you below like Andrew Santino or somebody who's like a big name in comedy, dude. No, this is our neighborhood bar. No protest, but this was an open mic on a Wednesday night at a bar. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the difference. And also, this person the week before that literally said, "Hey guys, this is an open mic at a bar. It's not a big deal." And now they're trying to treat it like they're curating, like Andrew said last night, like it's a Friday night at the Comedy Store. You know what I mean? So it's like, to be very
double
clear,
standards.
If that happened, dude. No protest whatsoever. Right. Even once again, dude, even if it were a show, a comedy show put on by this person, no protest. It's a show. You brought people to show. Even if it were at this very open mic and I knew that I was not good at all and I need to work on stuff, I have no business going up in front of 20 people yet. No protest. But it's all about context. And dude, another thing, it's all about presentation too. Because look, like Ian, if you or anybody else that you know or we know had come up, it's all about presentation, right? So you go, hey man, look, I know this really sucks, and I'm not trying to be personal here. This is nothing personal. It's just, dude, I really have to do this, and this. And I really just want to do it. I'm coming to you about it respectfully. If you present it that way, you don't go, you're getting bumped. You know what I mean?
Or it's like, hey man, I'm going to bump you, but I'm going to give you, 1 or 2 extra minutes. Or, if it's something like that, there's got to be a little bit of give and take. Otherwise, you're kind of coming off as an asshole. You know what I mean? Like as a showrunner, as a host, and I don't know, if you're not willing to sort of, give a little bit just for, just for kind of salvaging a relationship of a relatively new comic,
right? Oh, big time new, brand fucking comparatively new. I'm barely out of the packaging.
Worked with this person like for years, dude, and like, but whatever. Like, you should respect everyone equally. And if you have to bump somebody, like, concede something, man. Like, you don't have to be a hard ass literally all of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then you just come off as, cold and sort of pretentious.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Have you ever hear of, like, completely switching gears on this, going back to kind of something we're talking about where it's like, hey man, like, regardless of what?
That's Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol, going back to Paw Patrol. Like, going back to, I don't know if you're familiar, like, do you know, were you ever like a Danzig fan? You know who Danzig is?
Yeah. Glenn Danzig?
Remember when he got knocked out?
Yeah, dude. Every time that actually, what's funny, you see me with my headphones on, like before I'm listening to the Misfits, bro.
Okay.
All the time.
So you're very familiar.
Yeah.
So like, that's a perfect example, bro, of
out.
Regardless of how long
he's not a big dude.
No, not at all, in terms of height, at least, and like, I love that story and seeing that video of where he gets knocked out. And for anybody who doesn't know, so Glenn Danzig, I think he's a founding member. He was definitely the singer of Misfits for a long time. I think he was a founding member of Misfits. And then he broke off, did his own thing called Danzig. you know, and you know, super foundational, like punk rock, like OG, like super respected by everybody in any kind of heavy rock music community.
Yeah. Skull face paint.
Yeah, like this dude.
The Misfits.
There was an incident probably maybe like 15 years ago, something like that, where like somewhere in there, like early 2000s ish, where he was like, there was some kind of show, and this band that was a small band. They were a lot newer, obviously. They were a lot smaller. Got like they won the opportunity to open for them, and then he basically said, "You guys are going after me," and then they were like, "What? Like, how does that make any sense, dude?
Yeah.
We're like nobody." And the whole thing was so we can open for Danzig, so we can play in front of a crowd. Like, what do you mean we're going on after you? That's doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And then he got super defensive and was like, "Hey man, like, don't question me," like, and basically challenged the dude. He got in his face and was like, "You know, you want to do something to me or whatever." And this dude in this smaller band ended up knocking him out. You know. And my point is, like, I'm not saying that like that's exactly the case here, but my point is, dude, like, don't get too big of an ego, man. Like, don't think that you're untouchable. Don't think you can question people. That's something that I always try to remember for myself, because it's like, dude, you never know when you're going to get too out of control, man, and someone's going to bring you right back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Well, incidentally, I got in a fight with the later singer for the Misfits that was doing his own thing, Michael Graves. Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, dude. It was at a rinky dink ass bar in Corpus Christi.
Okay.
Just like this gutter punk, like gross. It was called Zeros, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, got in a fight with this guy on stage, and then my buddy was the bouncer.
Were you doing music?
Huh? I was just there watching the band because I like the Misfits, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And but he came out as Michael Graves, and then he didn't do any of his own songs. And one of my friends was there, and she like flipped him off, and he was like, "Yeah, you bitch, get the fuck out of here, you and your hippie ass friends, whatever." She was flipping him off as we were leaving, because he did all of Danzig's songs, and then he busted into like a Doors cover, and we were just like, "Are you gonna sing any like Michael Graves songs?"
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, that was kind of funny. So we got in a fight on stage.
That's great.
My buddy was a bouncer. He was like, just kind of like, after everything went down.
Yeah.
You know, nobody even really got hurt. You know, I punched him in the face a couple times, and then I got hit in the back of the head by a guitarist. But
oh man.
But yeah, dude, that was like over a decade ago.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. No, that's crazy, dude.
But yeah, dude. Like, you know, that's the whole thing. I was just a spectator, and granted, like the chick that I was with didn't react the right way.
Yeah.
You don't just like just attack. You know, the people that are there to see you.
Right.
She had a valid concern. Like, you're not performing well, so it's like, whatever. That's a bomb on their part. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how
Yeah.
to correlate that, but
yeah, dude.
you brought up Danzig.
Yeah, man. But
Shout out
anyway,
Michael Graves.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Let's
That's
hang
crazy. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, shows are always fun, like when they get out of control. Have you ever seen, like, and to talk about bombing, dude, have you ever seen a band like at a show or a concert you went to just like do horribly and be hated by the crowd?
Yeah, the Strokes.
Yeah, the Strokes?
Dude. Yeah, Julian Casablanca was hammered.
Okay.
Yeah, and we saw it was actually it was Eagles of Death Metal opening for the Strokes.
Okay.
And it was the first time I'd ever seen Eagles of Death Metal, and I was really pumped for the Strokes, but I don't know, it happened. He came out, he's hammered drunk, forgot like all the lyrics, and started like, started fucking up the songs or whatever. And the bandmates, you could just see their like contempt on their face, dude. They're just like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy. And so like the audience was just kind of like, this sucks. And so like half the audience literally left the venue. But you know, it's cool because we got to see Eagles of Death Metal. That's cool. Whatever. Yeah, but yeah, that's my
Yeah. So like I've seen to the point where the band didn't do anything wrong. Like numerous times, man. Like I remember one time I saw this band. They were opening for, I'm trying to remember who it was. Like this was like a hardcore show, and the first band, they were just so different. They sounded so different, like from the band that was headlining.
Yeah.
And they just started getting like trash thrown at them. They started like getting like all kinds. And dude, this I gotta hand it to that singer, whoever that guy was, because he straight up, man, he like held his own against that crowd, like better than I could, better than a lot of people I think could in his position. Because dude, they were getting beer cans thrown in, they were getting like just booed. They played their whole set all the way through, even though they're getting shit thrown at them. And he said, I guess this dude, and he seemed like it too. He seemed like he was talking about like I do, I forget which belt or whatever, like jujitsu and I did kickboxing and stuff like that. And he's like, so I'll give anybody $1 who wants to step to me after I get off stage. Yeah. He's basically calling people out. Like, you want to be pussies. You want to throw trash at us, whatever. Like when I step off the stage, anybody that wants to step to me, go ahead.
That just reminds me of the movie, The Blues Brothers, when they're throwing beer bottles at him behind the chicken wire.
Yeah, the chicken wire.
And then they start doing good when they do rawhide, right? They start doing good and they get more bottles thrown at them.
That's funny, dude. I forgot about that, dude. Isn't that where there's like peanuts on the floor or whatever?
Yeah,
don't they do that?
It's just like grimy as shit. He's like,
dude, that's
they
such
walk
a
up, they're
classic
like,
movie.
Chicken wire.
Dude, movies like that,
classic.
you forget, like you can, because it's easy to go like, got some trains coming through here. Be careful. It's so easy to go like to get caught up and go like, oh yeah, Blues Brothers is a classic movie. Like this movie is a classic movie. Adam Sandler movies are classic movies. But to really sit back and watch those movies, man, like you forget like how they don't make movies like that anymore, dude. Yeah. Like they don't make it in that style.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's they do. It's just like when you grow up with something that's like that much of a like instant classic, you know what I mean? Like everybody loves that movie. Yeah, you know what I mean? And the music is great or whatever. And you know, dude, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, dude. John Belushi's a like legend. You know what I mean? Like he's one of the, you know, he was Chris Farley's, you know, biggest influence, right?
Yeah. He was like the next, and like Chris Farley was the next next John Belushi, man.
Yeah, next John Belushi, John Candy. Yeah.
Yep, big time. Got a lot of trains coming through here, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, like you're talking about, man, you're about to get your whole like production back going again and stuff. Like about like the different kind of stuff you do.
Oh yeah. So the show is called Wonder Crust Movie Watchers Club.
Okay.
And it's Mystery Science Theater 3000, MST3K esque. Shout out MST3K.
Nice.
So what that is, you know, you watch a movie and there's commentary on the movie, right?
Okay.
So we made it a little bit different. We've added like sort of references and like video cut-ins and audio cut-ins and stuff. And like, you know, if you see something on the screen that like makes you think something, like, you know, play drinking games and things like that, dude. So it's a lot of fun. But I gotta, you know, we have a stand-up go up first, and once we get the production going a little bit more, we're gonna do like, you know, sketches that are like fake commercials and stuff like that. Like, let's go to a, you know, break from our sponsors. We've already got a sponsorship from Crown Royal, dude. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
on the first one, yeah. Like, in the meeting, the dude was just like texting the guy. I was like, "Hey, can you sponsor this?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, we'll get you a bottle for the voice actors." I was like,
hell
that's
yeah,
awesome, dude.
That's great.
Yeah, so I know it's gonna be fun. September 3rd at Low-Key Tavern here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then you're performing, well, this is already going to be past date by then, but like, you know, you got that show this Friday at Hyenas Fort Worth.
Friday the
I'm
13th.
sure that's going to be great. That's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And then Andrew and I and Jordan Haywood and John L. Brown will be in Denison, Texas at the Red Rock Saloon August 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the August 20th, and then you got September. What was the September date again?
September 3rd
September
is
3rd.
Wonder Crust. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, man. That's fucking. That's really cool. So how did you start that? Did you just like, in terms of like, you know, the show, like, and the premise and stuff like that, what's going on, and like, did you like just say, did it kind of happen by accident, or did it? Well, like, it wasn't planned it out.
It wasn't originally my brainchild. I made the first Wonder Crust logo because you know, I'm a graphic designer by trade, and that's kind of what got me into comedy. Is like I had been working with musicians. I had managed a band before.
Nice.
And then, you know, fell in with this guy that I was working at a restaurant with, Riley C. Morris. Shout out. He introduced me to my now business partner. Like, been a part of an events company, LLC. Oh yeah. And we do, like, you know, rock and roll events, and but they were the ones that came up with it originally. Riley and a guy named Naaman and Tony Diaz, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so we started doing it. I made the logo, and then they were like, dude, you want to come in and sit in and like watch the movie with us and get drunk and make fun of it, and then we'll record it, and then we'll script it, and then we'll perform it. And I was like, yeah. So I got started with them. Then I took my music management like background and got them set up with an LLC and like got a little bit of investment into it. Got us a camera to work with and like all kinds of just the steps of building it. And then over the years, I mean, we've been doing it for 8 solid years, not counting the COVID.
That's
COVID
awesome,
break,
man.
You know what I mean? So
I think that's the biggest thing that and I think you'll agree, like getting more experience, like, in like different entertainment art forms, or like, doing something for a while, getting a little older, you start to realize like, man, you just got to really keep doing something. You know what I mean? Like you can't, cause like, I feel like the younger you are, the harder it is to really understand that, and the easier it is to give up.
Well, dude,
I mean?
well, yeah, that
Bam. Sorry. We had to we're just jumping around. So I want to make sure for editing everything. We're back, folks. We're back. So beginning of COVID.
So at the beginning of COVID, I went a little bit crazy. And like I was ready to give up on everything, man. I was like, I'm gonna go be a gardener now. You know what I mean? Like I got laid off from I finally got a job in my field as a graphic designer. Yeah. I was doing comedy on the regular, and then COVID, boom. And actually, like the person we were talking about from the mic,
right?
I missed my last show at the venue my last showcase to go and film her and the comics that she was at the Addison Improv, right? And Andrew Barton filled in for me at my venue, and that was on March 15th.
Oh,
and everything shut down.
day.
Yeah, dude, and everything shut down on the 17th, like promptly.
Bro, March 15th, 2020 was like literally like the marker for like pre and post COVID.
Yeah, dude, and it was crazy, and like I'd heard about all this stuff, but my job the people at my job had been like, no, we'll wear masks, we'll be fine, we're gonna do this, and then sure enough, like 10 days later, dude, they're like, all right, everybody's laid off, and we're like, what? This sucks.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it wore on me, and so to further that point is, a person that I had been in contact with, she's been a friend of mine for a long time, working in bars. She was a beer rep, and she told me, like, at the beginning of all this, she was like, whatever you're doing, just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Keep the momentum going. Keep it moving. Just as much as it sucks to keep plugging away, if you really want to do something, just keep going, man. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Just keep it moving, dude.
Yeah.
And I added that to I added that sort of, it's a little homage to her in that zoo joke that I got. It was like, it's like, nobody gives a shit. Just keep it moving down the path.
Yeah.
That's a little that's a little insight into how my brain works. But you know what I mean? So that's a shout out to Alex Dickens for that.
Yeah, man, because I think that's true, because you have to, I think it's tough to recognize, and once again, like I said before, like the younger you are, like when you're like in your teens and stuff, it's so hard to fathom, because you're just like, oh yeah, like everything's like a million years from now, or like I don't need to do that, like that's gonna take too long or whatever. And you have to remember, man, I'm like, dude, like even right now, you and me sitting here,
we're the same age, aren't we? You're 36?
Yep.
Yeah,
Same
right
thing,
on, dude.
Same thing, man.
When's
Same
your
deal. Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
Yeah. So it's whatever. It doesn't matter at that point, right? Like, so right now, 2021, like this is going to seem like right now I could go like, oh my God, like I only have 5 podcast episodes out. Like this is pointless. Like what's going on? It's so much work. Oh God. It's like, dude, it's going to be 2030. Yeah. Like that. You know what I mean? And you have to remember, like, dude, what you're doing. Like when I first got sober, I got sober a long ass time ago, dude. I got sober in 2004, right? So 2004 was like, I'm 19 and I'm like, I'm thinking like, God, this is like 2004. Like all these people have been sober so long. I'm barely getting sober. It's barely 2004. Yeah. Now 2004 is old, bro.
Yeah, dude,
like if you say 2004 to somebody, they're like, dude, that was a long ass time ago, dude. That was you know,
I was born 3 years before that. You know, something crazy.
Like,
dude.
and
like,
so now it's like, bro, that time when you think like, oh, I'm brand new and this ain't shit and this is just happening right now. It's going to be such a long time. Yeah. That's going to turn into you've been doing this so long, faster than you can ever even believe it, dude.
Yeah, like that Bo Burnham. I'm turning 30. In 2030, I'll be 40 and I'll kill myself then.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. Like,
have you watched that? The Inside?
No,
dude.
No.
It's so good, man.
Okay. But I've heard that little tidbit before, but I've never actually sat down and watched that whole.
Yeah,
invested time.
He did a whole special from the inside of this room right at the beginning of COVID, and he'd taken 5 years off.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so he's
what's that called again?
It's called Inside.
Okay, that's right. I've seen it pop up.
Yeah. So it's on Netflix, but you can also find all the songs on Spotify, dude. Like you can just go.
I'm sure he doesn't need our help promoting that shit.
No, I know, but dude, like it's so good, man, because it literally says all of the things that we're all thinking during quarantine, right?
Okay.
He's like, but he had taken what I was going with was he had taken 5 years off.
Yeah,
he talks about it, right? By the end of it, you just want to give the dude a hug because, like, I know what that feeling was like because I was about to give up. You know what I mean? And so, like, he talks about it at the beginning of, at the beginning of 2020. He's like, I'm gonna go start doing shows again. Yeah. And he goes, and then the funniest thing happened, right? And so that's how it goes. Okay. But yeah, so that's kind of where I was at, dude. Is like I went through a really dark period, and. It took me like meeting some people like outside of my comfort zone that kind of like inspired me to get back into it. And really what it was is I was telling myself, I don't need to do this because, like the world's over, you know what I mean? That's basically where my head was at. But what I want to do for you is to encourage you because quarantine was a reset. Think of it like that, dude. Quarantine was a reset. So now we're all brand new, dude. We couldn't do this for so many months. You know how rusty you get in just 1 month? So there's a lot of people that
I can imagine, yeah.
I feel like everybody's kind of on edge. And even to speak to the person that, pissed you off, man. Mm-hmm. A lot of people they're like, I don't want to become irrelevant because of something that I had no control over.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and I've, worked with other comics or whatever. And everybody's just kind of like, okay, well, how many mics do I have to go to get on a show? Like somebody said something like that to me. And I was like, okay. I mean, I don't think it really works that way. Just maybe show some camaraderie and like show up to the things and we'll put you on a showcase. You know what I mean? But we're going down the list. You know what I mean? It's not like we're purposefully leaving people out or anything like that. But if you're going to come at me like I'm resting on my laurels, like I don't play that, dude. Like, are you putting in the work? Do I see you at mics? Do I see you like working on your jokes? Like, are you prepared to bomb constantly? Are you prepared to get better because of that? Because I mean, dude, honestly, the biggest part of success is failure. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
100%.
You succeed once, but you fail 100 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like that whole thing, like, about George Clooney's whole deal, like where he had all those shows and all those pilots failed constantly before he got ER.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah. And then that was like the most watched.
That was huge
show
in the
like
90s.
At the time,
huge.
dude, most watched show. I watched that with my parents, dude, and like as a kid, and I'm just like, this is a cool. This is a good show.
I think St. Elmo's Fire or whatever with Denzel Washington. I think that might have been like one of the first, but ER I feel like was the first really big doctor show where it was like became super big. Yeah, and I feel like that was the first show to really do that. And then that like Grey's Anatomy, all those shows are because of ER.
Absolutely, dude.
But yeah, man, you really got to stick with something. And that's what I tell like Danny, right? Yeah. Like. Danny was with us in Austin on Monday, and he was like, we were playing pinball after like I'd done my 3 minutes, whatever. He was waiting to see if we had time to do his.
Fucking Danny.
Yeah, we were just chilling there, and he's like, "Wait a minute, dude. So you do music, and you like got your day job, and you got comedy. Like, man, you were busy. You're doing a lot of stuff, dude. Like, you really know how to market yourself. Like, I really need to do stuff like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, dude, The difference is, like, you should absolutely try to work on that stuff for yourself. But I was like, but also, man, don't sweat it, dude. Like, you're 21, you got some time.
You gotta do it in your own time. It has to come to you.
Yeah.
And so as two 36-year-old dudes talking to each other, man, dude, you're gonna be fucking great, man. It's just like, you just gotta go through it. It's a necessary evil that you have to go through, and you have to deal with personalities that you're maybe not. You guys won't mesh immediately or whatever, but if the person is receptive, and even if they're not, you kind of have to accept that too.
Yeah.
But if the person is receptive and they want to work with you and they see you putting in the work, dude, they're gonna come back, dude. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And ultimately, dude, have fun with it. Dude. If you're not having fun, it's fucking nothing, dude.
And that's why, like, going back to what happened yesterday, that's exactly where I'm coming from, Ian, because when that was my whole point in talking outside to this person. I was like, at what point do you think I would even want to go back in there right now and do stand-up comedy? Right. You've made this so weird and so awkward.
Yeah, you brought a witness.
Yeah, I don't want to. Why would I want to go in there and try to make people laugh? Like, even if somehow we worked something out, I went back inside and tried to tell jokes.
Yeah,
that's not a good idea at this point. Like, how am I even going to have the right energy? So at that point, it's like, if something's not, I completely agree with you. You got to have fun. You got to have a good time. You got to pursue something, but at the same time, you have to know, and I think with a little bit of age and a little experience, I've kind of realized that you got to know when just to go, nah, I'm not doing this. It's not worth my time anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I need to, time is important, bro. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or whatever. The one thing we can all not get back is time. Dude, time goes away.
It does.
So if it's not worth my time, or if I can tell that something has completely just, the energy is not right anymore.
If it's gone off the rails,
I'm out of here.
I'm out. Yeah,
I'm out of here. It's not fun.
And I feel like if you're... Oh, dude, here you go. It went off. Boom.
Good multitasking on this show.
That's right. I'm a stay-at-home dad, by the way, everybody. Shout out to my son. He's pretty much the coolest, and I get all my material from him. I'm kind of a hack in that way. Anyways, but yeah, dude. I get that. And if you know that you're not in the headspace anymore, then you're either going to go up there and purposefully bomb just as a big, finger to, everybody for making you feel that way or whatever.
Yeah. Which I think that would cross undebatably on my part. Yeah. That would be crossing the line from standing up for myself and voicing my concerns to being disrespectful. Yeah. Because that fucks over all the other comics.
Yeah, exactly.
That screws over the show itself.
If you go up there and you blow the room up, like, not just bomb, I'm talking like, if you go nuclear, dude, there's hardly ever any coming back from that. And if you find it, if there's a comic, chances are there's a comic that can, like, kind of bring the audience back, but the person right after you is going to be pissed, dude.
Sure.
Because I've had, people go like, oh, this, fuck you guys, not listening, blah, blah, blah. And I have to go up there and I'm like, hey, you guys watch Paw Patrol? Like, what do you do after that?
The last thing I would want to do, man, is do that. Like I said, even when we were starting to get into agreement, I got quiet because I'm like, out of respect, I don't care who's putting it on.
Yeah.
I know that there are people here to do their thing. Everybody's taking time. There's people that are intent on listening. So for that reason, just out of respect for just the art form itself, I'm not going to mess this up. I'm not going to disturb this thing. And for that reason, why would I even want to go back in there? I'm just going to leave,
And as a good host, if you know that there's, you should be able to go up as a host and be like, all right, look, we got some people in here, be motivating. Don't just immediately, go for the negative, right? As a good host, you want to encourage, you want to motivate, you want to build people up so that way they will go up and get get that rush that they need, get that fix, dude, because they're doing the same thing that you're doing. And if you lose sight of that, then, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, if we're not having fun, then fuck it.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's where I was at. Like, this isn't fun anymore.
No.
This is so tense. I'm leaving. You know what I mean? And
it's not, you said it yourself, it's not a fucking show,
So it's like, dude, and that's what I really like, and to bring it back, because this is 100% true, like, regardless of what happened or didn't happen to me yesterday, like, you guys, like, for the Outlaw stuff, like, you, Andrew, you guys always have this energy. Blake too, like, because one of the first times I came around, he was filling in. You guys always have this welcoming energy of just like, dude, who cares, man, if there's one person in here and us, or if it's like whether there's 20 people in here or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, let's just have a good time, man. Let's have fun. You know, like let's bring the energy. Let's all be positive. Let's all just try to do the best we can and just have a good time. Jacob told me last week at McFly's there happened to be like a really good crowd there that was intent on listening.
Yeah,
Were you
dude.
back hosting? Were you back?
Yeah.
So you hosted.
Yeah.
So
it was great, dude.
He said there were people that were there to listen. They were there to laugh.
And right after the mic at Red Goose, I messaged Diego. I was like, hey, man, are y'all still going on? Because either I was going to go over there and close his out, or he was going to come and close mine out.
Okay.
They ended first, so he came over and closed it out, and I let him do 20 minutes, dude, because he was just like working the crowd. And there was like even more people that had come in like toward the end. So, I mean, for that little room, there was like
Diego,
25 people in there.
Which Diego?
Diego Morales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Vatos Chistosos.
Yeah.
Shout out.
For sure.
You
Yeah.
need to get him on here, dude.
I worked the door at one of his shows. I was upstairs because it was Fort Worth, but still, I was working the door when he had the 2 shows going on. That was the same night as Shane Gillis.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Well, he runs a radio show, dude. We should go on there.
Oh, hell
It's
yeah.
every Monday, dude. We should go check it out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Let's
that.
go on there and talk some shit.
Hey, man, if he wants to come on here, we'll go on there. If he'll let me on there, dude, hell yeah.
We had like 20,000 listeners, man. Like whenever
That's
we
awesome.
went on there. Yeah.
That's awesome,
And
dude.
I was just shooting the shit with like
hard to
Rudy
build that.
Ramsey and Josh Mosqueo, like all those
Hell
guys,
yeah.
dude.
It's not easy to do that too. So shout out, man. Props. That's important. That's important. That's hard. But yeah, man, the last thing that I'm sure you did when there was a good crowd in there that was intent on listening is you started like going around to all the comments and like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. And this is how I'm going to organize it. And this is where you're going to go. And this is where you're going to, it's like, no, you just had a good time.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's my point. It's just like, dude, why, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You were making the comics get in their head and you're making them being awkward, and they're supposed to be the people that are getting up there and making people laugh.
And because of the previous, weeks, you've been there, dude, when there's like, it's just us, dude.
It's just us talking to each
But
other.
also that one night that it was just us, I had the most fun that I've ever had.
Oh, it's so fun. I love
whenever
it.
Ruth like showed up at the end,
Yeah,
dude, that shit was
I love it.
so much fun, dude.
And you're
Shout out
like,
Ruth,
dude,
thanks.
remember to put the fucking mic stand back, you tall motherfucker, you tall fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm still, and then, dude, I'm the first to admit, dude, I'm still learning this thing. I'm very new.
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever, dude. There's certain things that I'm going to continue to learn, man. I'm brand new in this, and that's the whole point
But
of
you
doing
know
this.
that it all comes from love when the host is like,
Absolutely.
if
I
I don't
love
give
that
you
stuff.
shit, I don't like you. That's what it means.
Dude,
It's like,
I love
okay,
that
well,
shit.
cool.
Great, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that shit. Like, I love that stuff, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
Like, I like getting roasted.
Yeah.
I like roasting people as long as they know that I'm doing it because I like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's all good.
One of the sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, cut me off, man.
Just going back to it. I mean, how are we on time? What's going on?
Let's see. Yeah, we can get. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
good.
Yeah, right on.
We're in the green zone, man. We can keep going until whenever.
Cool. So going back to the whole you were talking about Andrew being super welcoming. One of the other things that Andrew's sort of like taught me in conflict resolution is sometimes no reaction is the best reaction, because if you do react, and Andrew, dude, like sometimes he plays such a great fucking straight man, you know what I mean? Just like he'll just kind of shrug his shoulders and he'll like raise his eyebrows and
Right.
he'll just kind of walk away. You know what I mean? He's not gonna, or he'll ask you questions like, I just don't know why you're reacting like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that, very level-headed. And fucking Jacob too, man. He's like pretty level-headed dude.
Pretty
It's just
level-headed,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Those two guys those are some golden souls right there, man. I love those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But dude, like, we're gonna have so much fun, like with this group that we have right now, dude. There's a lot of camaraderie. It's a very tight knit.
Yeah,
we all know what's going on with everybody, and we're all like, doing little check-ins, like, hey man, how you doing? How you doing? Heard about me, whatever.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Yeah.
I feel like we're sort of, we're ahead of the curve on that, dude, in our scene. I don't even like using that word scene, but it really is, dude. And like, it's such a good group of people here, specifically in Fort Worth. And I
love it, man. I love it.
I like Dallas, dude. I like Dallas. I can go out there and I know everybody, but I don't know, man. Fort Worth just seems it's more welcoming. It should be that way, So you should be able to speak you should be able to speak to that when you're having a good time or a bad time. So I mean, fuck, dude, I'm on your side, bro. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, man. And hey, man, I've had life experiences where like I know when I've been unrealistic about something or unreasonable. And like I've gotten a lot better at gauging myself with that. Part of that comes from recovery, part of that comes from Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff like that, and doing work. Just I've done a lot of stuff like in terms of like examining myself and
Bettering
like realizing, dude, like I definitely have a temper and I can definitely fly off the handle, but I've gotten a lot better at managing that over the years. And I don't necessarily think it has a little bit I think has to do with age and experience, but I think most of it has to do with just that work. Uh-oh.
Your big toe? What'd you do?
Toe?
I just eat strawberries.
What? Your toe hurts like a strawberry? What?
How does it hurt like that? We got our closer right here. He's closing out the episode right here.
Yeah.
It's the grand finale.
He told me a joke the other day. He said, "What did one branch say to the other branch?" What did he say? Stick around. Solid jokes, dude.
That's awesome, dude. He's killing.
All right.
Closing it out.
Yep. Don't touch the table, please.
I love it.
All right. Love you, dude. Go watch your show. I'll be in there in a little bit.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, man, we can wrap it up here, or we can keep going.
Whatever you want to do, man. I don't know. You got more shit to say?
I got one thing that I was gonna run by you.
Come on. By the way, I want you on Wondercrust. I want you to open up the show, or if you want to do some voice acting stuff, you've already.
Oh yeah, dude. Whatever you want. Dude. Yeah. Whatever works, man.
It's a lot of fun once you get get the process or whatever.
Yeah.
We usually have a 10-minute opener, dude. You got 10 minutes? Come on.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. Whatever works, dude. Whatever works, man.
Hell yeah.
No, but going back to like when you're talking about like the difference. This is another thing, man, that I've kind of noticed. Like certain groups of people that put on certain comedy open mics, right? Yeah. They'll kind of like, there's this vibe of like, we're really not encouraging, because I feel like it's really important, like with you guys, like you're talking about like our group, or like when I've gone to you guys, like shows you put on or open mics you put on, the welcoming thing about it is it's just straight up, especially when it's just us hanging out. Yeah. It's like a clinic. It's like, hey man, this is what I'm working on. What do you guys think? Is this funny? Does it suck? Like, does it need work? And like you get honest feedback. I feel like in certain groups of people, they're more policing what you say to decide if they think it's okay for you to say something like that or talk like a certain way. Yeah. So with that, I feel like a lot of woke, like the common, Craig, let me tell me if you agree. I think certain like woke comics, or like the woke community in general, I feel like it's okay to kind of shit on religion, right? Isn't that like universally acceptable to kind of like shit on Christianity or religion and stuff like that? Or do they like...
You gotta... Well, okay, so...
Not them. I'm just saying in general. Like, is that a thing?
I mean, yeah. So with this, and I had a conversation with Jacob about this, because one of the other comics that went to the mic the previous week when he was hosting said something off color or whatever, and there was nobody there.
Dude, I heard about this.
Yeah, and the bartender got pissed off, and she's a little bit younger or whatever, and we've heard him tell the joke before. Jacob actually kind of helped him with it a little bit, but he kind of blew past that and said it and got a little bit awkward or whatever, but it was like literally only her and then the rest of the comics, and so it was like but we almost got canceled, dude. Like the owner hit me up and was like, was like, somebody said something about this, and there's just some things you don't really joke around about. And I was like, I said it like this. I said, and simultaneously I'm having a conversation with the owner and Jacob, and I was like, way to go, dude. You got us fucking canceled, Yeah. Whatever. But it wasn't his fault. It was another comic. But it's a two-parter, right? So as a good host, you should be able to go and like say, hey man, or make a joke about like how awkward that was for everybody. If you know something's bombing for another comic, the best thing you can do is go up and be like, hey, all right, well, and then try to like win them back a little bit. Right? That's a good host. But what I told her was, far be it from me to censor anyone and censor anyone's material or anything. It's like, but I've heard this joke, and it could be funnier.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're going to be offensive, and this comes from David Eller, because Jacob had a conversation with him about one of his jokes, and David Eller said, he goes, if it's going to be offensive, like, it has to be funnier than it is offensive.
Yep.
You know
it
what I mean?
has to be.
Yeah, exactly. If it's just straight up offensive to be offensive for shock and awe, that's fine if that's your style or whatever. I don't subscribe to that, but dude, I fully believe if it's gonna be offensive, it has to be funnier than it is offensive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Do you think, like, when you crack, because obviously, like, no one, like, what is it, Patrice O'Neill or whatever said, like, no one knows what's going to be funny or not funny until you try to say it. Or I'm messing that up, but it's like something like that where, like, nobody knows if something's going to be funny or not. Like, it's a thought in your head, and until you say it, it's either going to suck or it's going to be really good. But you don't know until you try it or whatever. Do you think, like, I feel like
I've been delving into, like, I got a cancel culture joke about how, like, I think, cancel culture is bullshit or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you have to write it out to where you can't just be like,
this sucks.
Cancel culture. You know what I mean? Somebody kills somebody, you know what I mean? And that's where I go. I was talking about Carol Baskin and how she was on Dancing with the Stars. And in the middle of Dancing with the Stars, there's a fucking commercial for from the family of her ex-husband. Like, hey, we still don't know where our dad is. Like, it's like crazy. So I was like, so fuck cancel culture. Because we all know she killed him, like all this stuff. But and then delving into, like, police brutality with the Paw Patrol thing. That's kind of a little bit deeper. But you start to test your boundaries a little bit. And if you go for those, like, bigger, if you go like you remember the movie The Patriot? Yeah. Aim small, miss small. Right?
Oh, is that a thing that's in there?
Aim small, miss small.
Okay.
Yeah. He tells,
That makes sense.
his son, Heath Ledger.
Dude, I got a thing about The Patriot. So, man, so when my now wife was still just my girlfriend, no, we were engaged at the time. We were over at her parents' house, like on a Sunday or whatever. And, like, we had dinner and everything wound down. And, like, her dad, like, my father-in-law goes through these periods where he'll just, like, get insistent that, like, someone, like, watches a movie. So, like, we're just sitting there talking, like, we're just hanging out on the couch, like, dinner was over, we're just hanging out, and then her dad comes in the room and goes, like, "Have you guys seen The Patriot?" And we're like, "Yeah, I think so." Like, a long time ago, he's like, "Oh, it's a great movie, Patriot." And he, like, turns on the TV and he starts finding it, like, on his hard drive or whatever. And we're like, "Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of hanging out." He's like, No, you got to watch Patriot.
You got to watch this 3.5-hour movie.
He puts The Patriot on and just leaves. He puts it on and goes, "No, you guys got to watch this," and turns it on and just leaves the room and goes and does his own thing. It's like, hey,
that's a solid, but I mean, that's a dad movie, dude.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
but he left.
Yeah.
He's like, commit to this 3-hour movie and go, and I'm gonna go away.
He had something to do, and he wanted you guys occupied.
So funny.
That's what that is.
Oh, dude, it was so funny, man. That's so every time you say The Patriot, that's what I remember, because I haven't actually watched it through in so long. We didn't watch it then. We just, like, we had 10 minutes and we were like, what is why was he so he was an advocate for The Patriot right now, man? It was weird.
He was a really big Mel Gibson fan.
It was really weird, dude.
Mel Gibson was a shit back in the day before he became racist, man.
Dude. Yeah. So I got a question though. So, like, since like, this isn't even really necessarily like a bit or a joke, this is more just a thought I had. So like, in, like, general woke culture, right? It's kind of acceptable to, like, kind of, like, bash religion, right? Isn't it? Like, it's okay. Organized religion is kind of like, we're too smart for that kind of thing, right? Like, we're too smart for Christianity. We're too smart for this.
If you do it in a smart way, you can just say, you guys are idiots. You know what I mean? But don't you come off as,
but people that like people that hold, like, not you and me, right? People that hold, like, or have this, like, lens on, right? Where they're like, you can't talk about this, you can't appropriate this, you can't do that, you can't do this. I think it's acceptable. I could be wrong. I'm asking, like, is it acceptable for those people? Don't, like, a lot of woke people shit on religion and go, like, hey, these people are dumb, like, it's okay to do that or whatever, like, or Christianity is not real and stuff like that.
I mean, Jim Jeffries, Ricky Gervais, like, all those, like, the big guys, they're
but I don't really think those
atheists,
are woke people, though, right? Like,
but,
like, what I'm talking about, like,
you're talking about specifically
the new generation, like, you can't talk like this, you can't talk like that.
PC culture, that's what you're talking
big time.
about.
Well, and like the woke comics and all that stuff. So if it's okay, because I believe, to my knowledge, it's okay to shit on organized religion. Like, that's stupid, right? Like, let's be conscious of race. Let's be conscious of gender. Let's be conscious of sexual orientation. Let's be conscious of all this different stuff, right? But, like, but like a lot of organized religion is kind of stupid, right?
Right.
So if you do that, though, if you hold a position of like, you know, organized religion is stupid, and I'm not saying I fly either way with it. I'm just saying if you do, right?
Yeah.
If you do like shit on organized religion and you think Christianity is not real or stupid, right? Then in turn, you believe that like if you think Christianity is dumb and it's stupid that people worship Jesus, then you're treating Jesus like the person that he was, right? Like the man that he was, and he was a Jewish man that existed, you know, thousands of years ago, right? And if that's your opinion of him, and you think that it's stupid, does that make you anti-Semitic? Because he's a Jewish guy that existed years ago. Like, let's say you don't think he was God. You don't think he was like had any kind of supernatural thing. You don't think he was God's son. If that's your belief.
I think that was the big controversy with Passion of the Christ. Remember the movie?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that was wasn't that a Mel Gibson? film?
It was. That's what I was actually going to segue.
Patriots. And so they did there was a South Park episode about that and everything. You know,
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, but anyway, I think if you're going to go after religion, it has to be smart. You know what I mean? Or it has to be either smart or you have to like connect with the audience as humans instead of as like whatever belief that you're holding or whatever.
Yeah.
So, because there's a joke that I got about. I said I think half the stories in the Bible are bullshit. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, ooh, hot take, you know, like if it gets real quiet, I'm like, okay, bear with me here, you know, I'm in like
hold
this
on,
country, podunk country town,
hear me out,
whatever, and I was like,
you got to the Bible's bullshit.
I'm in the Bible Belt, literally on the buckle,
dude, that's so funny.
And I said, I think half the stories in the Bible are bullshit. Like anybody else? No? Okay, I'll give you an example. I know for a fact that the story of Adam and Eve was bullshit because at no point in history has a woman ever decided what she wanted to eat. You know?
That's true.
Right?
100%.
So like you're going like
that's
fake.
good.
It's fake misogynist, and it's more like just thinking about it. But the other thing is that's my background, dude. Is I grew up in the church for like really small town South Texas, dude. Like really strict Church of Christ, like no musical instruments in the church, like footloose shit, dude.
Okay.
And so I've read the Bible like
countless times,
front to back, like probably 20 times, dude. And so I know all these stories or whatever. And regardless of what my beliefs are, if I can connect to both sides of it, that's where it's at.
And that's a good thing. That's a good quality that you have, because I feel like a lot of people that bash like organized religion or specifically Christianity, you know what I mean? Because that's the dominant religion in the United States. Like, if you come from it from a position of like, I don't know anything about this, I just think everybody's an idiot that does it. Yeah. Like, then you don't have a lot of cred, because you're just somebody who's like shitting on it without any experience. But if you grew up in it and you have funny things to say about it, like Jim Gaffigan, dude, he's Catholic. He's still a pretty devout Catholic.
Conan O'Brien.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, really? Did he do that too?
Yeah. Catholic, but these are like some of the funniest, comic minds, of our time.
Yeah.
And I just think you can write smart jokes in a dumb way and connect to both sides of the spectrum, dude. Like people who are people who are devout, Christians, Catholics, whatever, people who are, but if you're going to go one way, you have to kind of give it the other way. You know what I mean? Like, because if you can show both sides of it, man, that's where your good joke is coming from. Because it's smart, it makes people think, and it kind of like rattles people a little bit, just enough to like shake out the humor of it. You know what I mean? Because if somebody can like, oh, that's kind of true. You know what I mean? Well, I've never, she never knows what she wants to eat or whatever. Yeah. But like, that's, I don't know, it's fucking. It's a deeper joke than it comes off as, you know what I mean? But if you really think about it, like, like you're really trying to show both sides.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing for sure. Yeah, man.
What do you think, dude?
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. But hell yeah, man! Thanks for having me come over, and man, dude, we'll do this again once I get it set up back at home. Just like with a couple other people that I've had on here. Once we get rolling with that home studio, I'll have you back on, and we'll have another good time again, man. But yeah,
anytime, dude.
Thanks everybody listening, Crux Nation. Crux, yeah.
Crux, yeah.
Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say say Crux, yeah! Crux, yeah!